One duck is as good as another.
One duck is a duck another. It's the same universe, damn it.
Okay.
Everybody can hear us because it's not live music right now before we get muted by music.
Exactly. I'm going to do a short starting soon.
What's the short starting soon? 7?
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Tired of those boring, predictable gifts? Every holiday season, it's the same old thing. A pair of socks, that terrible holiday sweater, or how about that fruitcake? Oh, if I get another fruitcake, I'm gonna tear into someone's esophagus. Anyways, why not try something bold this holiday season? And nothing screams festive like a zombie Santa with your coffee. Bold, robust, delicious. Deadly Grounds Coffee. It's coffee to die for and zombie approved. Why not get a little deadly this holiday season?
And we are now live for another awesome episode of The Dorkening. And as always, that was our awesome sponsor, Deadly Grounds Coffee. And, it's good to get a little deadly. We love supporting indie businesses, indie artists, indie everybody. And they're a local mom and pop shop right here in Connecticut. So if you love flavored coffee or love, you got somebody in your life that loves flavored coffee or just coffee in general, head on over to getdeadly.com. And with that, James, how's it going, sir?
Good. How is everybody doing this fine Wednesday?
Doing okay. Here's a face we haven't seen in a while. Yo-yo.
Last week. For the most part,
they finally let him out of. They finally let him out of.
What was that, James?
They finally let him out of work.
Yeah.
That's what you think.
This
This is all green screen. I'm still there.
They got you in the room in the back until they open tomorrow morning.
They said I have to stay here until January 2nd.
Oh, nice. And Steven's here.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so we haven't had a show in a little bit. Had some crazy stuff going in the holiday, so we are back. Tons of awesome stuff to talk about, including the big news.
The McRib came back.
No.
Oh yeah.
And Grogu is
Rib.
the same. No.
Just think smaller with more legs.
Yeah.
So Mandalorian last episode, Ahsoka.
I know everybody, that wasn't really a big surprise. That's been rumored since earlier this year that she signed on. For me, that really wasn't a surprise because you knew that was coming. For me, the biggest surprise came in what was announced in that episode. Thrawn.
Yes.
That for me, that was like, oh, like what is happening? Like I don't care anymore. Like give me what the fans want. And realistically, in reading like social media and stuff, I didn't watch it until Saturday. And I kind of saw some spoilers that Thrawn was in there, and I did my best to avoid, some of the other bigger spoilers that are in it. But when I saw that, Jen's like, "What's the big deal about this?" And I was like, "Oh, let me tell you about him." And so like Logan, I've been having Logan trying to read the Heir to the Empire trilogy for like 3 years.
I have the graphic novel versions. If you're interested,
I don't know. I want I like the book. The book is good. Book. And so I was telling Logan, I'm like, dude, like I've been trying to get you to read these like about this guy for forever. And I kind of explained like this is who he is. He's one of the best villains that Star Wars has ever developed. And I was just like, let's go. For me, I didn't mind it. Again, it's that next step of the episode. We know there's 3 episodes left. And for me, it still comes down to the Mandalorian is, okay, here comes Mando. But hey, I need you to do something for me. Like, okay, that trope is getting old quickly, and you're kind of getting a lot this season. And I didn't feel like you got a lot of that in the last season, just kind of moving the story forward. So, I'm curious to know if this is leading up to the Moff Gideon showdown at the end of the season, or are they just going to hint at it? Because it seems like they're kind of going parallel a little bit, but you're going to have that big climactic moment on this Jedi temple. So like I said, that's what I'm kind of curious. And for me, for the name, whatever, that's cool, awesome that he has a name. I like that it kind of gave a little bit more backstory that he was around. He's 60 years old, so he was being trained and stuff like that. But again, it's always, and I think I saw a meme of this, it's always like, I can't train this person because of the fear. I can't train this person because of this. And I'm like, okay. And then I realized I told Jen, because I kind of was like, I had to bring up to speed on Ahsoka. And I was like, well, she's not truly a Jedi. She was kicked out of the order. Like, that's one of the things I think is interesting. But for me, Rosario Dawson's movements, her cadence, how she holds the lightsabers, all that stuff was just like, that's a live action. I mean, I would have loved to see the voice actor who did her voice, because I've seen her in cosplay. You've seen her in cosplay. She looked awesome. But for me, I would love to see more of her. I think she's a great person and a great character to develop. But for me, if this is her kind of swan song, like she's done after this, or it's going to go off into another thing, I don't want 5 or 6 spin-offs of this show. And you're getting hints of it. They're doing a Boba Fett one. They're going to do, rumors have it, a Thrawn one. There's rumors they're doing a Ahsoka one. And just to kind of like have this tree of other stories told. And that's great. Like, that's awesome. But it's one of those things, like, I was like, if you clone something more than once, you're diluting how good it's going to be. And if Jon Favreau is not a part of it, and Dave Filoni is not part of it, as much as they're Mandalorian, how good is it going to be? Because that's the reason why this show is so good.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be the team behind those. You know, they're going to spin it off because everybody loves Mandalorian and it's such a huge success. I'm a little put off by the tie-ins that they're doing heavily to Rise of Skywalker.
You mean Revenge of the Sith?
You mean Revenge of the Sith?
No, there was.
What was the tie-in from Skywalker?
One.
Well, rumor has it that the ship that brings Jakku is the Mandalorian. Like that is the biggest rumor out there, because the ship in The Force Awakens is the Razor Crest.
Yeah. No, the what the hell is his name? The main bad guy there.
Moff Gideon?
No. From Rise of Skywalker. And all three movies.
Palpatine?
No, the clone.
Snoke?
Snoke. There's a Snoke in the background in one episode. In the two.
Well, yeah. I mean, Favreau and Dave Filoni even says like you will see how the First Order comes to power in this series. So it makes sense that, you know, if this stuff is going parallel to what we've seen, is like you've already seen that the New Republic is becoming bureaucratic again.
Yep.
Like with him being like, you know, they said the Empire couldn't, you know, do the Outer Rim. Why do you think the New Republic can? And them out there being like, you know, we're trying to do good out here. And, you know, Cara Dune's like, no, you're not. Like that whole thing, like, okay, like you're starting to see these seeds or these sprinklings of the sequel trilogy coming out. And, you know, but you know, that's strict marching orders from Disney, like, because they're going to do everything in their power to resurrect that trilogy, because it's so panned and no one wants to talk about it, that you're getting a bigger reaction when you bring in characters from Clone Wars and Rebels and from the extended universe than you do when you're mentioning people from the sequel trilogy. Like that's one of the reasons why I was so turned off by the holiday special. I didn't even watch it. I don't care about the sequel trilogy. And if you have to go back to the good movies to make this look plausible, then you should. That just shows how terrible those movies were.
I will tell you that if you're talking about the Lego Holiday Special, don't even watch it. It's a waste of time.
I watched it just because it was a short watch, but it was so stupid. It was.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was. They introduced obviously time travel, and
they already did that. They introduced that in Rebels.
Yeah,
and it's another Disney property that introduced time travel.
So for me, like I said, it's one of those things where build on the stuff that fans want, and I'm okay with some fan service, and you're getting a little bit of fan service in this season, but it's not over the top. You're not getting beaten over the head with it like you did in Rise of Skywalker in the sequel trilogy. Build the characters you already have. And the good thing about some of the characters they're bringing in from other series in this interconnected universe is their story's already told. Like now it's like, okay, I want to know more about Ahsoka. I'm going to go watch Clone Wars. I want to know about Bo-Kep, Katie Stackhoff's character. I'm going to watch Rebels. I want to know more about the Darksaber. Here are the episodes you want to watch about the Darksaber. Like, this is what Star Wars can do really good, and this is what the extended universe used to be like. Oh, you want to know how the twins came to power? Well, you want to read these two books. You want to know about this? This is the book you want to read. This is the comic book. This is the video game. Like, that's what the extended universe used to be. And I think Disney and Lucasfilms is looking back being like, we had canon already established, that, we haven't touched. Because now they're saying, like, watch, Mara Jade's going to show up randomly, or just that's going to be just a random name drop somewhere in this, because they're even saying, like, watch, you're going to have reference to Luke, especially at that temple. Yeah. Like, that's going to be somebody's going to get called out to. Like,
so the episode, it says, he has to be, Grogu needs to be brought to the Jedi temple, brought to the top of the mountain, and if he will choose this path, if he chooses the way of the Jedi, a Jedi may reach out to him. Who do you think that Jedi will be?
I think it'll be Skywalker. He's actively looking for Jedi at this point in this timeline anyway.
Yeah. What do you think, Yo-Yo?
Seeing as I haven't had a chance to, start watching second season.
So we're spoiling everything for you.
It's all good. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm not one of those people where like saying what's going on is gonna make me not want to see it actually happen. So
well, Steven?
What?
Who do you think it's going to be that reaches out to Grogu?
I don't know. I really don't know that. Anyway, it's like scraping the barrel. Pick anyone. It's like pick a name out of a hat.
It's going to be Maul.
No,
he finally died.
Yeah,
he died in Rebels.
Yeah,
but the thing is, they could pick like a random Jedi, but if you think about it, that Jedi is from like generations past or generations. It has to be a current Jedi that's in that timeline. So the only one I can think of is Luke.
Well, it's so we don't know what happened to Ezra, right?
And rumor again, that's the big thing too, is they're saying that there are surprise characters that they haven't announced yet. Like, because realistically, you haven't seen Boba Fett. Like, you were supposed to see Boba Fett this year. So
we did see him.
We did see him.
Hold on, because like you said, you don't. And I had a conversation with one of my other friends about it, and we literally was like, but because they announced earlier that there were still some clones left over from the Clone Wars still out in the universe. So could it be could that have been another clone, not Boba Fett directly, but a clone? So and I literally talked to my friend about it. He actually made a good point, being like, nowhere in there does it say Boba Fett survived. It's just imply that he did because you saw his armor. But how did the Jawas get the armor? Did he take it off and just leave it? Like there was some stuff there, and he made a good point. And it's like, I think you're gonna get more clarification because he's gonna do what he did last season. Something's gonna come up where Cara Dune's gonna show up. So isn't Carl Weathers' character. I can never remember, the magistrate, whatever it is. Because you had these characters, you had a lot of these actors, and I can't think for once that you only signed them on to do one episode each.
Yeah,
I think Carl Weathers came back with the stipulation to direct. That's why he directed that episode,
and that's why he'll never direct again.
Yeah, because he messed up and had the gaffe of that guy in the background.
That's fantastic, though. I loved the internet after that, especially had the Kenner toy.
Did you notice that they spotted it in Raiders as well?
No, I didn't see that.
There's a picture going online. If they have the picture side by side, the guy in the Mandalorian, it's a half of the guy in the background. And then in Raiders, there's a scene with Indy's taking shots in Cairo after Marion's someone's quote unquote passing. In the background in the bazaar,
dude. Steve, did you really do spoilers on a movie that's 30 plus years old?
Anyway, in the background, in the bazaar,
did you know Luke's father is Darth Vader?
the guy, same guy is in the background in the bazaar, half.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a Lucas trope.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't like that episode, to be honest. That was one of the episodes I kind of wasn't a huge fan of. I'm also to a point where I think I really do like Gina Carrero. I think she's an awesome actress. Sometimes, man, she can't act herself out of a paper bag. Like that last scene, with the pilot. I sat there and I was like, okay, first of all, I'm Carl. I'm like, cut. Like, Carl, can you give me a little bit more? Just a little bit more. Not being don't want to be here. Look anymore. Because I felt like, especially the part where the part was like, oh, you're from Alderaan. Who'd you lose? Everyone. Like that scene. I sat there. I was like, that should have had more oomph behind it. How dare you? How dare? It was more like, I lost everybody. But it should have been like, well, first of all, you're from out, you lose somebody. And if I'm Carlos, I'm like, you want to legitimately punch this guy out. Like that's your motivation. You're like, yeah, I lost everyone. And then at that point when he left the medal or whatever the hell that thing was. And I said, and then she's like, "Oh shuck, should I go with him?" I'm like, "No, you should have flipped the fucking table. Like you're pissed that like he's getting to you. Like you're going to be dragged back into this." It literally was like, "Oh, she's going to join up, and you're going to see her flying a B-wing or something like that, or being dropped in to help Mando out with the rest of the New Republic, because now there's this trace of like the New Republic wants to help him or whatever." Like, I sat there, I was like just stuff like that, and it goes back to some other just bad acting choices I look at, and I'm just like, can you get us a little bit more? Like, can you give me like a different take? Because if that was the only take, that was terrible. Because then, like, you see the opening scene when she's like kicking ass in the armory.
Yep.
Like, awesome, cool. And then her talking to like the weasel thing, that was good. And then I'm like, dude, like if someone basically was like trying to chit chat you up and was brought up your planet that was blown up by the Empire, I fought during Alderaan, like. Come on, like you want it? I would be pissed. I'd be like pissed. Like, why are you bringing this up? I'm Pat. Like it should show that like that should still draw. She might be numb to everything else going on because she's seen it all. But I figured that one thing about being from Alderaan, and like, did you lose any? That would have put me over the edge. Like you literally like that. That would be my one. It would be my Marty McFly chicken nerve ending. Like. You can, but the second you bring up my destroyed planet, that's it. I'm like game over. So,
yep. Not well said, and totally agree. Yeah, it's that episode definitely had some good points, but definitely some weak points as well. The speeder bike chase was pretty cool.
Yeah, there were good scenes in it. Like I still visually like it's still an awesome thing. It's just like. But like you even go back and like I watched a couple of the older episodes, even like the episode where you get the other Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And that whole scene is like, okay, I don't know if it's because you don't know if Pedro Pascal is underneath the mask or not. I know he said he was in it more this season than he was last season. But it just sometimes you can feel like that's not him in there, just the way he kind of moves or like does like his body language. So I don't know if it's something I don't know when it is him or not. So like that's my biggest thing. And I think I've noticed it more watching the gallery, in which they basically said is like, yeah, there was 3 different Mandalorians and none of them was like Pedro except for like that one scene. So
you just need to shut your mind off and just.
I can't. I'm a Star Wars fan.
Well, so this season though, I think it's been pretty rocking. A little sad that there's only 3 episodes left though. Other Star Wars news, unfortunately, we lost David Prowse.
Yeah, I was never able to meet him. I know he was at a couple conventions that I was supposed to be at, but I never had an opportunity to meet him. Everybody who I saw met him said it was pretty interesting, and he was a pretty nice guy and would talk to you. I mean, you look at some of the photos, it doesn't really look like he was in the best of conditions at some of these conventions. But like I said, I always heard that he would talk to anybody and sign anything and just was a nice guy. So
yeah. I walked by him by his booth once in a con in New Jersey, and yeah, he was talking to everybody. I didn't realize that he helped train Christopher Reeve for Superman.
Yeah, that was one of the like conditions they needed somebody to help it, and that was the one they chose. So
yeah,
if you see pictures of him, he was like jacked too. Like, but I always remembered like he was so disappointed that they didn't use his voice.
Yeah, because it's a body.
But he always kept coming back.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Steven?
I've never seen him at a convention.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was at Rhode Island a bunch. That was like Altered Realities, one of their go-to guys if they needed somebody like in a pinch.
I didn't realize he passed of COVID.
Yeah, wear your goddamn mask, people.
Yep, totally.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I just heard that today. Yeah.
Still, I'm not wearing a goddamn mask.
Yep, exactly.
Wear your goddamn mask, please, for the love of God.
On a brighter note, we're getting Wonder Woman 84 for Christmas.
I'm so excited about that. I have a lot of TV to watch on Christmas now.
Yeah.
Between Soul, Pixar Soul,
No.
which I am getting so excited
Is it
for.
simultaneous release, or
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to delay? Like,
no, but it's only going to be
So
in HBO Max for 1 month.
Yeah.
okay.
But originally they said it wasn't going to be in 4K, and now they said this week it's going to be in 4K. So,
well, because I think they got a lot of good press by it. They got a lot of good press that it was going to be streaming.
I think this is going to be a good.
I think doing it in 4K might be like bad if you have a lot of people at home watching it, trying to do at that quality. You're probably gonna have a server issue. I think it's smarter to keep it at full high def, personally.
Yeah.
Really though, is the average user gonna choose to stream it at 4K? Are they just gonna hit play? It's probably gonna.
Well, I think.
Can you choose 4K, or is it automatic?
I think it's automatically 4K.
So if you,
I don't know, because this is
getting
the first.
New TVs.
Well, and that's what I think it is too. Is I think that's what Yo-Yo said. You push TV sales. Like, a lot of people probably bought TVs this year because, that's that's been your entertainment. But this is the thing. This is their first 4K thing on HBO Max as well. So it's not like when Disney Plus launched, you had your regular viewing and your Ultra HD or 4K ability separated. Remember, they still do. They have that separate collection of like Ultra HD stuff. So it might be like, do you want to watch it regular or 4K? You know, that option might present itself, or is it something that once you they'll probably do an update of the app on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, because that will be fun and exciting. The updates on Christmas. In which, you know, at that point, you're going to have that option built into. I mean, they did an overhaul today anyway. I went to HBO Max today. I was watching Batman Returns, and they did a whole new user interface redo, which looks 1,000 times better. So,
really?
I will say that two things about HBO Max. One, with this Wonder Woman thing, at least it won't cost $30 like it did with Mulan.
Hey, Mulan is going to be free in about 4 days. So,
and two, HBO Max has been making a killing with documentary these days. I just recently saw the Mystery of DB Cooper, which is really, really good. And tomorrow they're coming out with Heaven's Gate, the Cult of Cults. I just saw the trailer for it, and it looks really, really good. I've been
HBO Max. I've been watching a lot of HBO Max. You know, I mean, it's the only place you get Doctor Who. So I've been doing watching a lot of old Doctor Who. Not old Doctor Who, like current generation old Doctor Who.
11th Doctor, yeah.
Yeah, between 9 and 13. You know, between that and then I've been watching a lot of, you know, DC stuff. Like I was saying, we were watching Batman Returns today, right before the show, which again, I forgot that he just straight up kills people.
Christmas movie, everyone.
Well, and the only reason I wanted to watch that is we watched the holiday movies that made us, that they talked about Elf and Nightmare Before Christmas, which Nightmare Before Christmas isn't a Christmas movie. The coolest person in the room just walked by. So cool.
Yeah, she did.
She looked like the guy in the roller skates was like, hey, with the song like she looked back there. But yeah, like between that and then we've actually been watching We Bare Bears with the kids, which by the way is like the best show I've never heard of until I got a kid. And I'm like, I watch this all the time now because it's just silly, fun, like happy television. So, but again, it also, like I said, it has a bunch of stuff I want. Like Peacock isn't yet on like streaming devices, which I think is very weird. And I know Peacock has a lot of like the NBC. Hey, I love that she's just sharing your laugh in no context whatsoever.
Peacock is on Apple TV.
Okay, again, I don't have an Apple TV, so that doesn't help. And
I'm pretty sure I have it on my. It's on my LG TV too.
It's not on my. It's not on my Amazon. It's not on my Amazon or my PlayStation.
And if you have the Xfinity streaming box called
I don't I have
Flex,
Charter.
Yeah,
I have,
they
I
have it
have
on there
WebOS
too.
on my LG TV, and it's on there.
So, I mean, like I said, for me, you know, I like the service. I'm really excited to see Wonder Woman. I'm kind of glad they did it this way. I hope, because I don't think theaters are opening up anytime soon.
Well, so I think this is a good test. You know,
Yeah.
If this does really well, if this drives subscriptions for HBO, then I think we're going to start seeing a lot more movies, you know, drop in streaming.
No, it's
To
gonna
be
drive
honest, I don't think
email subscriptions. People are gonna have a bunch of email accounts so they can get that 1 week of free service.
I'm almost positive. I don't know a single person who's actually paying for HBO Max. It's free with my internet, it's free with my AT&T, so like it's included with my cell phone plan. Like, and then if not, I can steal my mom's password.
Okay, all right. So when I upgraded my phone, it came with like about a month ago. It came with a year free of HBO Max, but when HBO Max launched earlier this year, I was already paying for the month to month thing.
So you know the idiot that pre-bought
about a year DC Universe.
DC Universe. I'm the same idiot that pre-bought HBO Max.
Yeah,
but I love HBO content. I mean, they do really quality stuff. And
I started rewatching Chernobyl this past week, so
I haven't seen that yet.
How have you not seen Chernobyl? You want to talk about a depressing show every episode?
I don't want to watch it
because there's no Baby Yodas in it. That's
yeah, exactly. I mean, some of the firefighters turned into Baby Yoda towards the end of the second episode.
Wow!
I don't want to see that.
But Leo, I'm telling you, it's one of those things where it's like you watch this and you're like, this actually happened. Like you're sitting there being like, there's point like there's one scene in the episode where the guy who runs the plant is like, oh, there's no way the core is exposed, and 8 like people after people who are dying in front of him were literally like, yeah, no, the core is exposed, like 100%. Nope, can't be. And like on his deathbed, he's still like, nope, I did nothing wrong. The core is not exposed. And you just see like this beam of light of like radiation, like ionizing the atmosphere coming out of it. It's just like, oh my God. Like,
now did I see a promo, or was this part of the show, or maybe it was in a documentary where they were sending people out like onto the roof to clean off the roof, like at like 30 seconds at a time?
That's a scene in the movie. Okay. Because they had to, because the radioactivity was so bad that they only could do like 30 seconds, and they literally was like, and they're holding like giant heavy pieces of concrete and graphite, and they were throwing it back into the reactor core. It's just stuff you like read about and how they describe it. You're sitting there being like, oh my God, this was like 35 years ago, and how barely by like the skin of everybody's teeth, Europe is an irradiated continent. Yeah. Cause like you're just sitting there being like, oh my God.
Chris says, ever seen the horror movie Blair Witch Project style, The Chernobyl Diaries?
No, because see, for me, I'm not a fan of like, if you're going to give me historical horror, like, don't give me something that like it's like that new. Like that's still like newer. Like I didn't mind Project Overlord, that movie with like the zombies or whatever it was from World War II. But like that kind of like, because next to watching like Chernobyl, you're sitting there being like, oh my God, they did not know. And how the Russians were like, you're fine, you're okay. Like you're not being opposed to.
Traumatized too, and it's not.
Well, so you recommended Right Stuff for us, which we watched, and that was phenomenal.
Yes.
Maybe I need to give Chernobyl a try.
It is very, it's very paced very well. It's very, very deliberately paced, but you're like sitting there and it's just like, wow, this is just like, it's crazy. It's bonkers. Like they literally, the guy is like, well, you go check out the core. And the guy's like, I don't want to because I know I will die. And they're like, we don't want to and they're like, you have to go.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because it's Russia and they'll shoot you. Like, you're just sitting there being like, there's one scene, and I remember the scene was like, they come out with being like, this is what's going on, and the party leaders are like, no, go double check, and he goes, no, the guy who normally did it is dying, like he's dead, and they're like, okay, then you go do it, and it's like, and he goes, I don't want to go on the roof of the building and look down to an open nuclear core, and he comes back and says, yeah, it's open, and they're literally, you see them like screaming at him, and like, you're lying, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about, that's not what's going on. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Tom Morse Jr. says, sadly, movie theaters will be no more with streaming services taking over. I brought this up last year on my show. I disagree with that. I think we're definitely going to get a lot more streaming, but once there's a vaccine, people are going to be. I mean, we've been locked up.
But the question becomes financially. Can the current movie theater sessions that we have?
Well, no, I think it's
going to end up being a whole different animal after all.
It's going to be a different business model. It has to be.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm sorry, but with small businesses, not corporate businesses, they can run off to the fences and they'll be fine. Small businesses like restaurants and movie theaters and all that, they're hurting. I've my uncle owns a restaurant. He's hurting, and I know small movie theaters they're strapping too. They're pushing
obviously they a lot of them are not going to survive. But I agree with you guys that it's going to change. Subscribe, yeah. It is going to change. Maybe it's only going to be blockbusters or whatnot, but.
Because that was a fantastic run company. Well, the streaming and DVD delivery services, people are still going to come to Blockbuster to get our movies and pay $8. Yeah.
Imagine how hilarious that would be after all this. Blockbuster is like, we back.
Hey, if we're going to make a trip to the Super Nintendo World in Japan, we might as well take a trip to Bend, Oregon for the last Blockbuster.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah. 100%. Well, for me, and I understand where it's small business. I think what you're going to see is, I think you're going to see a lot of the megaplexes close. I wouldn't be surprised if AMC, you're not going to have a theater in every corner. I know here in Albany, there are literally 2 movie theaters within a 5-minute drive of each other. You have Crossgates and you have Colony Center, and they're both owned by Regal. So it's like, oh well, the Regal one in the Crossgates Mall has the IMAX theater and the in the 4K, the ultra high def screen that's separate from the IMAX, and it's gonna become more of a, it's gonna be. I think you're gonna see theaters close, and it's gonna be a lot more of a destination, because I think you're gonna have distribution windows a lot smaller. That you might see a movie in the theaters for a month. You're gonna take a month off, and then it's gonna go on streaming. Or it's got some sort of new distribution model that you're not going to have a movie like Endgame that was in the theater for 42 weeks, or you're not going to have a movie like, some other thing. And I could see the other side of that coin is, I think you're going to see smaller theaters, independent theaters, make a very strong comeback, because they're the ones who are going to be picking up a lot of these smaller movies that the megaplexes aren't going to cover, because they don't want to give away screens to, Oscar movies or small independent stuff. I'll use Clerks as an example. Movies like Clerks, that was definitely 100% an independent movie. That might not get a wide release nowadays. That might go to a small independent theater that would cover it and go from there. And I also think the drive-ins are making if I'm investing any money, I'm going to find a big ass parcel of land that I can drop 4 shipping containers and put up a screen and a projector, and I'm going to make a drive-in for next year. Realistically, if the weather was good enough up here and I can rent a parking lot, I would do a drive-in movie theater this Christmas and do, Die Hard and do a bunch of stuff that, by the way, Menden Theater is doing that. But that's what I would be doing. And I think you're going to see a lot more of these drive-ins come back to life, because you've seen what you can do in a drive-in and how much fun you can have at it. And, I'm not saying it's going to take over it, but you can see the business model is definitely going to change. And Tom Moore did say, AMC reported Chapter 11, But all that is bankruptcy protection. All they're doing is just liquidating more of their stock and reorganizing their money. That's what I'm saying. I think you're going to see a lot of the megaplexes close, and you're going to have.
Do they own?
I think they have like 700 plus theaters in the United States.
Do they own or rent?
All right, it's time for business analysis with Yo-Yo and James.
I just want to say one thing. I read the other day that Regal did get a like a stimulus package or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Any large company that got that can straight up go to hell, in my opinion. Sorry, because there's plenty of small businesses that could have used that didn't. I mean, they have the ability to go to investors, get other people to like help, like shoulder some of that stuff. That's exactly why I'm asking if they own property. If you have a situation where you have multiple theaters in like a close vicinity, you sell that property. There you go. You're helping pay those workers that you have. Like you shouldn't be taking money from small business when you have other options. Just
so according to their revenue so far this year, their pre-tax income this year is negative $3.6 million, I think.
Million?
Yes, I think so. Or maybe billion. No, that's billion.
Okay. That makes more sense.
$3.6 billion pre-tax income. Total operating costs. Oh, they're hurting. They're in the negatives.
Yeah, I could have sworn. I'm trying to find a story. I could have sworn that they received money.
Okay, but so
yeah.
I think Steve made a fantastic transition.
Oh, really?
To our next topic.
And what is that?
He talked about how Leo's paying for us to go look at a new park.
No. When we talked about it on the chat, I said if we're gonna go, we need an official Dorkening international liaison. If we're gonna go,
exactly.
So there's a new theme park that is Mario related. Is that what it is?
It is Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Tokyo, which is actually being part that will be built in Orlando whenever they get around to building it, along with a bunch of the other expansions. They're basically Universal is building a whole new park in Orlando. Rumor has it. No one really knows if that's actually going to happen now because of the recession that we're careening through. But the Super Nintendo World was something that was announced a couple of years ago, which would include a real life Mario Kart racing.
Wow.
Yeah.
With AR, active AR, in which you will see the course, and you can hit what you need to hit, and you get your items, and you use your items, and all that stuff. So it looked pretty interesting. I know that initially you saw plans that you're going to have like a Zelda world, and you're going to have like more than just Mario. But I like how it's just Mario. Like it's just the Mushroom Kingdom with Bowser's Castle and Yoshi and all that stuff. In the video that was out there, man, seeing those coins spin in like real life, it was like, wow, they did a really good job, attention to detail on the land. So I'm really cool. I'm really excited. It opens up in February, so there'll be a lot more videos coming out soon, but I know there's a lot of, you see the thwomps dropping and you see the Koopas running and stuff like that. And rumor has it, and this is the one thing I'm interested about, is there were stuff that was trademarked or patented by Universal with wristbands that's supposed to be interacting with parts of the park, the Mario Park. So rumors has it, you can run up and there's floating blocks, and you can run up and hit the block or touch the block with your wristband, and something happens, or stuff like that. You can track your coins throughout the land or something like that. And like I said, they haven't really been detailed about that, but I know that was an option. So, and I know that's what Galaxy's Edge is trying to do with like the Force and the lightsabers and stuff like that. So maybe this is a precursor to what we're going to see, but it looks fun. It looks a lot of fun. So
Nice. Yeah, this sounds exciting. I'm going through my list here. Toxic Avenger. You guys hear about it?
Move.
Why?
I'm confused, honestly.
Peter Dinklage is going to be the Toxic Avenger.
And
No. I saw that. I'm just confused.
Yeah, that's same. Yeah. I'm confused by the casting.
Yeah.
So is it going to be, micro Toxic Avengers? Is like Lloyd Kaufman? Is he involved in it?
Are we bored and decided this? Like, find that
did the Toxic make him teeny weeny tiny? And it is his mop now like a Swiffer? Like,
okay, fine. We'll move on.
I mean, realistically, it just basically tells you that he's going to be a mocap person.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, give me the practical effects that Tron was known for.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I like Peter Dinklage, and I like that Lloyd Kaufman is
too, but it makes no sense.
Yeah.
I like them both.
Okay.
But
we'll see.
That makes no
sense. King Kong versus Godzilla could possibly going to streaming.
It's going to like that. Talk about how a film franchise flamed out before its climactic end.
We haven't even gotten a trailer for it yet.
Mortal Engines.
No,
were we just naming some or?
No, I still think the King Kong Godzilla Monsterverse they were trying to do. I mean, give them credit. Like I still think it's a pretty cool thing. I thought King of Monsters was fantastic.
It was.
I like that how it built that world up. And like I said, if this is where it's going to end up, man, and that's what they want to throw them on those, like I'm up for a couple more like Godzilla movies right on HBO Max, because some of these movies that are on like Hulu and Netflix and Disney Plus, they're pretty good quality. It's not like cheap movies. They're real movies that they just don't want to put in theaters, which is fine by me. So,
hopefully we get a trailer soon because I'm really itching to see a trailer.
I mean, it's just for me, it's just like, give me more of the Monarch stuff because I really think that like because is this where, because remember the whole thing at the end of King of Monsters, they had got King Ghidorah's head and they were like, well, we can do something with this, and I'm like, okay, what are they gonna do with it? Like I'm intrigued. Like you have me now. Like, and then it's just like, but it's been radio silence for like 2 years.
Yep. Well,
not necessarily a bad thing.
True. Hi, Sergio.
Sometimes it takes a bit to.
I know you.
What was that? Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a bit to build something. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You want to build right.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like for me, and this is why I hate the internet and I hate technology, is you got toys released and you're like, okay, here you go. Like,
and they kind of spoiled that earlier with. I read an article about WandaVision. They said something about an outfit for some character, and I was just like, I don't even know who this person is. Wait till the damn show comes out and then reveal it.
I have no clue what you're talking about, so I'm just curious. What character?
Oh no, it's even that it's with the whole like Sharon Carter thing for Winter Soldier, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was released like notebooks that said like traitor over Sharon Carter's face and stuff like that. I'm like I wanted to can I just learn that in the show? Like, and I get you have to, but see, for me, like I can't go on that 15-minute tirade on this, but I won't. Is guys, you don't need to do marketing conventions. You don't. You know who you're marketing to. Everybody like, and this is like the funny thing about it, and like this is where like Ghostbusters, and this is where like the thing is, you always see like Ghostbuster stuff at these marketing conventions, and you see Star Wars, and like, do you really need to like release like prototypes of stuff? Like, guys, like put a moratorium on stuff. Stuff can't get released, And if you get released, you're not getting another deal with us. Like, you don't think someone's gonna be banging on the door like, I want to make WandaVision stuff?
Well,
Like Lego doesn't need to release Lego sets 2 months in advance to tell you a scene in a movie. Like,
perfect example, Baby Yoda. He was kept secret until the show.
yeah, and then the second the show came out, how much merchandising was readily available?
Very little.
Merchandising.
But now he's everywhere, and it's
but they were saying like this is. I remember after another, they're like, this is all the stuff that's coming out for the Mandalorian with Baby Yoda in it. Like, so
yeah. Okay.
Oh, to answer your question, there is 620 screens in the United States. Oh, 620 theaters in the United States
For AMC
company.
For AMC.
Okay. Here, looking at Regal's financial statement, they have been over $1 billion in assets. Equipment.
Financial readings of Yo-Yo and James.
You know who doesn't have $1 billion in assets? The PlayStation 5 scalper that had 50 PlayStations stolen from him.
They get his teeth knocked in, because that'd be great.
What's that?
They get his teeth knocked in too, because that'd be great.
He posted a picture online with the 50 PlayStations. He says, fuck your feelings. Digital 900, disc 1100, tap in. And he got doxxed, which means that somebody found his actual address.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's other people that may be listening to this, because like I know what doxed is.
Okay.
The people who might, oh yeah, this is a podcast. People might not know.
Remember, we have a very tiny audience that watches us every week that might not know what that means. Again, we might be talking to ourselves, but we do want to incorporate our listeners and our viewers to know what we're talking about.
I don't even know what it means.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So doxing means finding somebody's address and publishing it online. So that's what they did.
Well, not just their address, but like any personal information.
A lot of other things. Trust me. Yeah. Ask the Georgia Secretary of State about that.
Yeah. So this guy on Twitter made a comment saying that he was gonna go rob the guy. Showed a picture of a gun and everything. And guess what? He actually went and robbed a guy.
And
I know like Microsoft and Sony did come out and it was like we do our best to prevent this, and I do believe them. It comes to a point where like they do their best to prevent from this happening, but the issue always has been is you have people who always are one step ahead of the companies. Like that is always what the situation's going to be. And like I said, at least like I saw this meme the other day, and I apologize to anybody who this offends. It's not my thing. Is they were saying is you'll most likely get a vaccine for COVID before you get a PlayStation 5.
So
and it was just like that whole like, you know, that's going to be more readily available than a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Every day.
It may
at least 5 times a day. On a good day, I'd spend 5 times. Most days.
Is Best Buy? Does Best Buy only do? They're only doing online only, right? You only can buy the system online, right?
Yep.
Can you do it like order in the store but pick up only, or no?
Nope. Online.
I know Target is only you can buy it online.
Did you hear what Walmart did?
Didn't they refresh and didn't tell anybody?
No. Well, they were doing that anyway, and actually Best Buy's done that too. But they actually had them in store, and there was like you had to ask
next
for them.
To the gun aisle.
What's that?
Next to the gun aisle.
There's these videos online saying you have to use BrickSeek, see if your Walmart has them, and then go to the store and ask for a manager so that you can get one.
Well, I know GameStop had
I will explain afterwards how those people will probably get in trouble. So I'll let you know afterwards.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, I know on Black Friday, GameStop said every store was going to have 2 PlayStation 5s and 2 Xbox Series X's.
Yep.
And they didn't say if it was the disc version or the
They
digital
crap to the
version.
bats for some reason.
Yeah. And so like that, so I remember on Thanksgiving, I drove past my GameStop, which is like not even 5 minutes away, and there was like 10 people in line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, it's 1 o'clock on Thanksgiving. They're not open on Thanksgiving this year because all the retail like closed for the GameStop should just be out of business anyway, but whatever. But yeah, I'm sitting there being like, oh, are you thinking they're not going to have more than 2? Like this one GameStop out of all the GameStops is going to have more than 2? Like,
yep.
Come on. Like you're literally just wasting your Thanksgiving.
Planning on offing the person ahead of them.
It reminds me of the Robot Chicken episode of like Little Hitler, and the guy just kind of like, I like the Portland's desk. Oh, little Hitler.
Well, I was just gonna say real quick. I read a story that in a mall. So people were talking about
in a mall
on Christmas. So they said they're waiting for the mall to open, doors open, and they're running to the GameStop. And they get to the GameStop, and there's 5 people already in line. Turned out somebody that worked at Foot Locker let all their friends in early before the mall opened to stand in line at the GameStop.
That sounds like someone who works at Foot Locker would do.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, if I was GameStop, I would have had 5 of my friends wait in line.
Yeah.
See what I would have done if I was GameStop is I would have just put 5 of my employees in line in street clothes and being like, sorry guys, you're SOL. And then wait till 12 o'clock and say, look, we have a random Xbox. Like shit like that.
What were you going to say, Steven?
So it may be hard to find an Xbox Series X or a PS5, but it's not hard to find a Game & Watch.
Did you even take it out of the box yet?
One in my store.
No, it wasn't. No, I haven't taken it out of the box yet. And I ordered it online. It's fun to play.
It's actually a lot of fun. I saw my. Did you see they hacked it to put other Nintendo games on it?
You can do that.
I might do that to mine.
Yeah, you can. It's an emulator. Same thing with the NES Classic. You just got to hack it and put the file on there. I think I saw like 19 port too. On it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I saw it. I've seen it at Target pretty regularly. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. Yeah, I think Target had like 2.
Well, we have 1, but now we have 0 because I bought it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're on the hunt for a PS5 or Xbox Series X, you have a greater chance of getting a Game & Watch than a Series X or PS5.
You don't know, man. People get awfully lucky.
Yeah, I've given up. When one becomes available, I'll get it. I'll wait till Best Buy has it regularly in stock, and I'll just throw it on my Best Buy
I'm in no rush, so.
Yeah, I told Jen. Jen asked me if I wanted it for Christmas, and I was like, A, we don't have the money, and B, I even said, I was like, the game's out right now. Like, I want more PS5 exclusives, not being PS5, PS4 exclusives. Like, I want the games to be for the PlayStation 5, not for the PlayStation 5. Well, we have PS4 versions. Like, no, give me the straight PS5 versions of stuff. Well, and that probably be later this year, later next year. Like, especially when Horizon Zero Dawn, San Francisco, the mean streets of San Francisco come out.
Well, I've been hearing that the PS4 games are optimized for it. It's like updated graphics. Like Days Gone is like phenomenal on it. Obviously Spider.
And for me, it's like I still have my PlayStation 4. Mass Effect Legendary Edition comes out in the spring. I don't want to be like Leo and buy it 8 times for 8 different consoles. So, I don't know. I'm kind of like, that's why I said I'd rather buy it for the PlayStation 4 and just play it on my PlayStation 4. But if it's available for the PS5, I'll buy it on the PS5 because that way I don't need my PS3 whatsoever, because literally my PlayStation 3 was for Ghostbusters and for Mass Effect. Bye, because now they're both on the next gen stuff.
Yeah,
the pretty much the same reason James said.
I'm not getting rid of my PlayStation 3, but that's for different reasons.
I don't want to know what's on your PlayStation 3.
Pretty much.
That's what I had originally bought for her, and I inherited. So
Yeah.
Aw.
I'm not getting a PlayStation 5 either because number one.
Memories.
yeah, when I found out she was also playing freaking Red Dead Redemption, I was like, "Damn you, mom!" Just
God damn it.
always like that's where I get my skills from. That's where I get the game love.
Nice.
It's the same things.
Talking about Red Dead Redemption, do you see they're doing no single player DLC?
What's online? The online thing.
All they're
Yep,
focusing is on
online.
the Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
Yes, that is BS.
Sorry, you were saying, Steve? Sorry.
Oh no, I was pretty much the same reason you're not getting the PS5, James, is pretty much my same reason. It's just because of money. I don't have the money for it, and I pretty much don't care. Plus, with pretty much
I don't have the time.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm managing
I think
I'm not gonna
tomorrow.
sit there and like
two shows and just doing a lot of stuff and work, and I just I don't have
I feel like I
time.
would have to sit online all day in order to even have the chance to. I ain't got time to do that. Fuck that. I'll sleep.
Like I
Plus,
said,
sorry.
around
Plus-
tax time, they'll be all in the, like around tax time.
yeah.
Also,
Plus-
your surplus.
Plus, with the rumor I heard with Sony and the NSA partnering up with them monitoring your voice chat, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, they.
Oh,
monitor you
Steven,
through
like
everything. It's
Steven,
alright.
like they're not already listening to our voice chats right now.
Yeah, they are. So I didn't get a PlayStation 5, but I did get this, and I pre-ordered it as soon as I saw it was coming out.
Is it another Yoda?
Yeah. Have you guys
Hey,
seen
look, it's not another Yoda.
Don't touch my buttons.
So 8-Bit Do, they do the replica NES controllers. So this is their version of the old NES Advantage.
You can control the Statue of Liberty with that thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
love it when you rumble.
I've been playing emulators on it. I've been playing a lot of Kung Fu for the NES and just loving it.
Well, that's
The
my first
best.
thought
It's
David
the best
Carradine
random
was
sound
scored
effect
for.
ever. Is a
What were you saying, Yo-Yo?
Well, that's my first thought when you say Kung Fu David Carradine and what happened with him.
Oh, the
He
final.
just wanted to get off one last time.
It's not too soon. I'm sorry. It's been long enough.
Yeah, it was. It was long enough. All right.
Or was it just a little bit too short?
Another thing Pai Mei taught him.
Oh my.
I mean, he was just hanging out.
You guys are so wrong. Y'all go to hell. You know that? Well, that brings up something else, which is totally not in the show notes, but did you see that
You have show notes?
So with Kung Fu, David Carradine stole that show from Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's daughter made a show based off of his writings for a story for his original Kung Fu, and it's called Warrior.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's season 1 and 2 are on Plex.
Well,
I was
started
really hoping you were going to
watching it.
join in with this and say that she has a rope company.
oh my god. We're all going to hell, and I love every single minute about it. So in other random show knows is I'm very upset that one of my favorite new shows is getting canceled.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I had the
explain to me
wrong.
why this is going on.
Random screen that shows people. Hi.
Yeah.
Their DuckTales is getting canceled.
It's
And
not
why-
Darkwing Duck, it's DuckTales.
I know, but I know
Why?
Darkwing Duck's coming out. That's why I threw
They-
it out there.
Well, so they didn't give a good enough reason. I think it's
Were they
because
bored? They canceled.
No, I don't think it's bored. I mean, it might have been maybe the cast. They only signed 3 contracts deal, and they probably all wanted a raise, and they didn't want to give them a raise. I don't know, or maybe the writers were like, "This is the story we told," or legitimately they only signed up to do 75 episodes, which could be the thing. Because I know they okayed season 2 and 3 like right after the pilot premiered, so I know that was a pretty quick turnaround. You know, a lot of real actors don't like to be voice actors for an entire run of a show. Like, that's why I think what makes voice actors different than real life actors, because they'll just do 150 episodes, no problem. But like an actor, you know, might just be like, I'm all set with that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's depending on how the production goes. It's not forever. You can still do other things while doing voice acting. What's going? God damn, I admit his name. Will Friedle. I think he was doing while also doing voice acting. Like,
I know, but
he shifted mainly to that. But
well, I think you got to think of who like the stars of Ducktales were. It's David Tennant, who probably was like, I want to do probably more stuff Britishy. You know, Bobby Moynihan, you know, you had Katie Micucci, stuff like that. You had very people probably like, we want to try different things. We don't want to keep doing DuckTales. And I get it, but I didn't realize the original one only lasted like 3 years too. It wasn't a long show. I mean, it was just a ton of episodes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is launching Darkwing. Darkwing's going to get its own show on Disney Plus, which I'm okay with. It's supposed to be the same type of animation, same voices, all that stuff, which I'm fine with. Like, hopefully, like it just continues it. But like, it did what it needed to do. It kind of brought back that nostalgia to a point where, like, you see, when I was down in Disney, you saw Rescue Ranger stuff, Darkwing Duck stuff, DuckTales stuff, Tailspin stuff. You saw a lot of that Disney afternoon stuff. So, you know, I hope the last couple episodes kind of hopefully wrap up some stuff. I know this season there's been a lot of with Fowl and, you know, that whole thing going on. But, you know, they've done enough of like homage to the original show, to Gummy Bears, to Tailspin, they've also did Bonkers in an episode. So, Tom, there you go. Watch the Darkwing Duck episode. It's Bonkers is in it. And they've referenced all that. They even had Goof Troop in it. So, you know, I was very, very impressed by it. I'm sad to see it go, but it's definitely one of those shows that I can watch reruns of and still laugh, and great writing, great voice acting. But I was talking again, and my buddy Justin was talking about it. He goes, 3 seasons is literally what everybody gets nowadays for animated films. Shows, unless you're like Rick and Morty. But even then, they have 7 seasons, only 75. But it's 10 episodes a season, so it's like it boils down to the same amount. So,
well, you know, even the Netflix shows, you know, a lot of Netflix shows are being cut at 3 seasons as well.
But by the way, the one thing,
yeah.
But here's the funny thing: is the one that pisses me off the most is the oh my god, it was the series on Netflix that had the girl from It, and she was like the teenager with superpowers, and she was like developing them in the thing. And that was supposed to be a 2-season story arc. Netflix greenlit the 2nd season towards the end of the writing the first. So that's why you had a cliffhanger at the end of the 1st season. They were going to resolve it in the next season. And then they ended up canceling the season due to the COVID situation.
Oh, wow.
So literally, and then the guy asked, like, well, can I go back and recut the end of that last episode to make sense? Can I just shoot my real? And they're like, nope, you can't. That's how it is. Bye.
What SBS?
Oh yeah, I was like, what? It was actually like a good show, and I'm like, come on.
Well, that's like Mindhunter.
Netflix is raising their prices.
Yeah, Mindhunter, you know, ended, you know, mid-story, and it's probably not coming back.
Motherfucker.
I know.
And but here's the sad part too, and it's just like, and this is why you see HBO Max and see like some of these other streaming services like barreling through, because they're letting stories like do their thing. So, I mean, and I really think them raising the price, Netflix raising the price, is them looking at the landscape and being like, we don't want to be the cheap company. We want to be the premier streaming series. So we're going to raise the rates and then our movies are going to show that. Then if that's your case, stop making Adam Sandler movies.
Yep. Well, they need to focus on quality over quantity. What's that, you?
But they already gave him all this money, and I don't know. I agree with that Sandler thing, but yeah, they definitely need to reduce the quantity of their shows.
Yeah,
more focused.
For Adam Sandler movies, just keep Uncut Gems on there. Get rid of everything else for Adam Sandler.
No, the Halloween movie was good.
Was it?
It was.
So it was called I Am Not Okay With This was the name of the show.
I am not okay with them cutting it so short.
Yeah. Well, last thing I'll bring up before we wrap it, and I know two of the people on the show probably have not seen it, but I know Steven and I have, and I totally urge you to watch it because it's friggin' phenomenal. Fatman.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It is.
Shockingly, it's a Mel Gibson movie, and he plays Santa.
He didn't direct, right?
I don't think he directed. No. It has a very Tarantino-esque feel. But it's a kid is a spoiled brat. He's like a son of a millionaire or whatever. And he's been forging checks to hire hitmen to do dirty deeds for him. And Santa gives him a piece of coal, and he decides to hire a hitman to take out Santa Claus. And it's Mel Gibson versus this hitman, and it's awesome.
The one thing I like about this is Mel Gibson is playing Santa. He's kind of a cross between Rambo and Old Man Logan.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it true they don't call him Santa in this?
No, they call him Chris.
Okay. Yeah, like they never say it's Santa. They call him Chris.
Correct.
Yeah.
I will
He's
say
supposed to be like John Wick, but with Jolly.
Well, he said he didn't
would like go against Hitman.
Well, he says he didn't get the job because he's fat and jolly. That's the line in the film. But yeah, he's like a Santa that like works out, is super strong. The government's going to him to hire his elves to do work for the government. It's a really dark movie, but it's awesome.
Yeah. I will say that me and my co-host reviewed it on our podcast this previous week, and actually the director retweeted our tweet because we tweet all our episodes. When the episode launches, he retweeted it and he praised our review. And we're actually going to have the director on in the upcoming future. So
very cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Well, I watched something that wasn't dark and depressing.
No, what'd you watch?
I watched Happiest Season on Hulu.
Really? And how was
it? It actually was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It's funny, but it's also like a really good love story, and Kristen Stewart actually is like really good in it. Mackenzie Davis is really, really good in it. Dan Levi is fantastic in it. It's definitely a movie like I enjoyed watching a lot. There were some, parts that were, really emotional, really touching, really, really funny. If people don't know what it is, it's literally about a lesbian couple going to one of the girlfriend's parents' house who's conservative, but they don't know that she's gay, and you go through this whole thing where you're just sitting there and you're watching it, and it's really good. I watched it actually, I think, on Thanksgiving, and I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a really, really good movie. Very reminiscent of Christmas, but like the end of the movie is really good. But it's like an all-star cast too, like Alison Brie's in it. Audrey Plaza's in it. So it's just a really well written movie. Good ending. A good third act. But you feel for all the characters at the end. And it can be a little heart wrenching too. With it. So
nice.
So
on my list.
I know some people don't like that stuff, but like I said, it definitely was on my radar just by their advertising on Hulu, and I'm glad I watched it.
I've seen it listed, but the only thing I've been watching on Hulu is rewatching Letterkenny and Animaniacs.
I haven't finished Animaniacs. I have like 2 episodes left, so.
Tom Morris is asking, did anybody watch the Saved by the Bell reboot? I'm sure my wife will watch it.
I have zero desire to watch it.
I still have to see the Fresh Prince reunion.
That is
awesome.
Yes.
That was really, really good. I watched that with Jen and Logan. Logan really didn't get it, but I was like, it was really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
The whole part with Uncle Phil, man, that made me cry too. I was just like, oh, Shredder.
And the whole
R.I.P.
75th birthday, please.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure today would have been his 75th birthday.
Oh
wow. Yeah, no, it was tough. Like I said, that was interesting. And then the whole when they brought the other mom.
Yeah. And how
that whole interaction, they talked about that. The one-on-one with her and Will Smith was really interesting. I didn't know anything about that. Like I didn't know. So
yeah, and apparently it was his fault that she got blacklisted.
They talk about it. They don't really.
Well, she mentions that it was him that called her difficult. And she said, once you get called difficult, you're impossible to work.
Yeah, as an African-American woman in Hollywood, yeah.
He was also young and stupid and didn't know exactly what he was doing.
And that's what he said in the episode, too, was like, I was young, I was stupid, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I agree with you. Really good. Yo-Yo, you see anything good recently?
Best Buy?
A lot of This Is Up.
This is up.
Me a good cry. This is us.
Oh, This Is Us. This Is Us.
Yeah.
I thought you said This Is Up.
Ugly cry.
I'm like, This Is Up? Is there a TV show that I was unaware of?
I thought he was talking about the boxes that he has to they invest this side up.
This side up.
Yeah.
You don't
Last week on This Side Up.
I do with some boxes, a lot. Sure amount of my job has nothing to do with boxes.
I'm besides watching the Mystery of DB Cooper yesterday, for the past month and a half, me and my girlfriend have been watching Supernatural from the beginning because she's watched it up to season 12, but me and her are like watching it like up to it was starting from the beginning because you
guys haven't watched it together.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good project. We just started watching 30 Rock. I've never seen that. That's pretty good.
You've never seen 30 Rock?
Never seen 30 Rock.
Wow.
Yeah, we just finished. I think we just finished season 1. It's
you'll see it peak and then you'll see it just go off the cliff.
Yeah. Well, we're enjoying it for now. She has a new show coming out, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I'll be interested. No, for me, the one media I've been consuming is I downloaded a Promised Land audiobook. And it's really, really good. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. So,
and what's that about?
If you don't, it's President Obama's memoirs.
Oh, nice.
So it's part 1 of his memoirs. It's a 30-hour audiobook.
Oh wow.
There's a lot of it. There's him going, and
oh yeah, and he reads it
pauses.
too, which is fantastic. But right now I am in the book. I'm like 5 hours in or so, and he's talking about the Super Tuesday when he was going for the presidential, the Democratic nominee in 2008. So it's really interesting, and you just hear like the stories he tells, and literally like the one thing I thought was interesting was he was playing basketball in he was playing basketball in New Hampshire with a bunch of his body guys against this fire department, and they were like dunking on the firefighters and stuff. And Obama was just like, guys, like, you know, like, don't be as like flashy, just like play with these guys. And they're like, do you want to lose to these guys? He goes, no, I need their endorsement, but don't beat them that bad. Like it literally was. Oh, there she goes. Dude, there's a basement down there. I wonder if there's an elevator.
That's awesome.
So, like I said, it's definitely something, you know, if that's what you're into. I'm holding off on doing anything with Ready Player 2. I think Santa's going to bring it for Christmas, so I'm going to read it then. It doesn't bode well that I've read some of the reviews on it, and I'm kind of worried a little bit, but we'll see.
Well, you'll have to let us know.
That sounds so encouraging. Worried. Like,
I think IGN gave it a 4 out of 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah, people were butchering it on Twitter.
Yeah, because basically they're saying it's just he wrote this book for the sequel, for the movie sequel. That's it.
Well, I mean, if you go into it knowing that, maybe you'll get some kind of like okayness from it.
But for me, when I initially got Ready Player One, it was actually in a loot crate. That's how I got Ready Player One in my collection, and I remember reading it, and I was like, "This book's awesome." I think I've read the book like 3 times, and I've listened to the audiobook like twice because it's read by Will Wheaton.
Really?
Yep. Go. Out the nose.
Well, I think I kept you guys long enough. We'll wrap it up.
Steve, I think you need to get the claw from like Dr. Claw and have like the cat next to you.
Why?
Because like the way you just sat back, you're just like, good.
She just purposely did something when you had the camera on Steve.
Oh, sorry. Okay, camera's on you. Have her do it again.
Oh yeah, she likes that cream freeze right in her mouth. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody for watching this evening. Make sure you follow everybody. There's a bunch of information in the show notes. And head on over to thedorkening.com for more information. I won't do any specific cameras just in case anything else happens in the background there. So, Steve, where do you like people following you?
You can follow Super Retro Throwback Reviews on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Super Retro Throwback Reviews. Just look for that. Our primary podcast, Super Retro Throwback Reviews, the audio files, on all major podcasts and distributors in the Dorkening Podcast Network. We have a big episode at the end of the year. Usually we do like a best of the pop culture, like best of the year, worst of the year, but pop culture wise, but there really hasn't been anything pop culture wise. So we're doing kind of like a F 2020 special. So be on the lookout for that. And our second show, CSI The Vegas Files, that comes out every Friday on all major podcasts and distributors and on the Dorkening Podcast Network. And also you can find me here whenever Leo does the show. So
that's good. Yo.
Boy Meets Phone on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You'll see me on same streaming channels. Usually find me here most Wednesdays when I'm lit free and not having to work ridiculous hours. But hey, I got to keep a roof over my head. So that's
Totally. And we greatly appreciate it. We love seeing you, Yo-Yo.
I love seeing you guys too. And this was a reminder why you should never give someone a hot cocoa bomb at like too late at night, because now she's hopped up on sugar and she's gonna be like this all night.
Oh, nice. James.
You can find me in the tweets and Instagram at Longtime Storm. Check out my podcast. It's Go Time with Jay and James. We've launched our Christmas December episodes. Leo made a fantastic new logo for us, so thank you very much. Very festive. So check that out. A new episode just dropped on Tuesday in which we discuss Thanksgiving and give you some sports updates and kind of a heads up what our year looks like, including a live NBA preview coming up on the 13th of December, our holiday episode released the week of Christmas, and our year in review episode in the last week of December. So check that out. It's Go Time with Jay and James. Also want to give a big shout out to people who aren't here, including Alex. I know Alex has some big cool announcements and reveals coming along, so check them out on his Patreon account, or go to The Art of Alex Hoey on Facebook, or what is it? True Alex Hoey Twitter. Is that his?
I got it in the show notes. Facebook is alex.hoy.58. Twitter is pure_Alex Hoey. Instagram is pure_Alex Hoey. And Patreon, Alex Hoey.
So check that out. And like I said, that's all I got. Be safe, be smart, wear a goddamn mask.
Oh, I forgot to mention that I do have a Patreon as well. I keep forgetting to mention that. But Super Retro is patreon.com/Super Retro Podcast.
And I think I got that in the show notes as well. And you can go on over to thedorkening.com for all the shows on the network. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. And with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Night, everybody.